Welcome back. You're still on To The Press, and we're reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We've now been joined by two special guests to help us discuss Ondo State politics. And to my right, we have Ogunleke Samuel, who is an in-house analyst. And we also have to my left, Samuel Adetolaju. I beg your pardon, Victor Adetolaju, who's a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing today?
Fine.
I'm sure you know what's happening in Ondo State. In fact, they said sunset for Akeredolu and sunrise for Lucky Ayedatiwa. Let me start with you, Victor Adetolaju. Could you please walk us through what is happening in the politics of Ondo State?
Yes, for the past few weeks or months, there's been a lot of uncertainty that has greeted the state, concerning the health of the immediate past governor.
Yes.
And, a lot of speculations, a lot of, wanting the rule of law to take its course, and, there was a lot of back and forth.
Of course.
And, but one thing I appreciate in all the noise or the activities is the decorum that the man that was just sworn in yesterday, the comportment, the maturity that he played all through the situation, the scenario, and you can hardly hear what he said in the public about it.
Okay.
So I think that's what gave the whole situation stability, because there were a lot of actors, there were a lot of agitations here and there, there were a lot of even protests. There were even court cases,
Of course.
The state was sued, you have to hand over to this man, this was supposed to happen and stuff like that. And I'm wondering that even you can see that when the inevitable happened yesterday, what needs to be done was done quickly, because that is what is supposed to happen. You understand? There are legal procedures, there are rules, and things that are supposed to be followed. Okay,
Dr. Olamide, let me throw this to you now. He just talked about the comportment of the current governor of Ondo State. Let's talk about the aspect of the feud between him and the late governor, and especially premised on the lack of loyalty that the current governor was actually accused of. What's your take on that?
Well, when you actually check what happened in Ondo State, you see very sure that when Lucky was acting, the present governor, when he was acting, he wasn't given the free hand to work as an acting governor. Betsy, Akeredolu, the son, the secretary, according to how the scenario played out anyway, you see that the affairs of the state will be anchored by some set of cabal that actually termed themselves as the family or relation to relative of the former governor, who is now a later person. But the fact still remains that when you have a deputy governor that you will not trust, you wouldn't have, in the first instance, picked the person as your running mate. That's number one. Number two, this person has been your deputy governor not for a year. When you were there, nothing like that came up. Are you guessing it? But it was only when you now appointed. They were sluggish to actually give him to pass the baton to him.
Of course.
Which was all over the states, and even
constitutionally, after 21 days of the governor being incapacitated, he was supposed to have assumed the role of the acting governor.
Of course. But the fact still remains that it wasn't Akeredolu. That's just it. It wasn't Akeredolu, because left to Akeredolu that we knew during the Yaradua's case, I know very sure that he wouldn't want to repeat what he fought against. Are you getting it? What he fought against then, he wouldn't want to do same thing. But the fact is that we have machineries that are working against even the governor. the former governor himself and the current governor. That's
Okay.
what happened.
Do you agree with that statement that it really had nothing to do with the late governor, when it comes to the feud that they both had? Because there were accusations of, oh, he's not loyal, he misappropriated funds and all of that leads to the feud between them. And before we even know what was happening, the House of Assembly was already planning to impeach him. So do you think it had nothing to do with the late governor himself?
Like he said, there are machineries in place
Okay.
to make things work or against, and my thoughts actually is, looking at the whole saga, the whole situation, my thoughts is back to leadership.
Okay.
How do we handle leadership in the country? It's a general phenomenon that it's almost an happenstance, and it's because our democracy is very, very young. And when I mean very, very young, I'm contrasting with people that have been in democracy for 200 years and because leadership is not a flippant thing.
Okay.
Like if I ask you now that what did your parents want you to be before growing up, you might not be able to specifically say. But do you know that there are schools that are laid out in developed countries that if the person that will be the president in this season, this is the trainings, leaders of captains of industries and things like that. So what I'm saying, why I said that is that we have a lot of sentiment and a lot of hierarchical, monarchical mindsets around leadership. So that the rule of law is truncated when those sentiments are applied. You remember what happened to the former deputy governor too? Mm-hmm. That was why I was commending his own decorum. You understand? Because I can't imagine it was that other guy. The whole place will have been set up.
I wouldn't have think that lies.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying now is that we need to be more pragmatic with leadership, so that when you are built, so that I remember I saw the video where it was being sworn in, and the late governor was commending his name as Lucky, Ayedatiwa, all those things. That means we have a sense of monarchical system, like your own is now so we put serving the people at the back burner. You understand? It's not even pretense. Everybody knows that when you are there, your own is blessed. Like I was yours
and the people and everybody
that is with you forever. You are settled. That kind of mentality. So there's nobody that is coming there and saying, okay, I have the mindset, and this mindset is not easy to attain. It has to be an upbringing. So I want to give that to my judge and say, all the training I'm giving you is to be in leadership. You understand? So the idea is, you are now coming to be governor. Like I was hearing a news about there is a state that pays their past governors 100 million per month. That's I think is the Akwa Ibom state. Ekiti State, I think they are working on paying 30 million or something per month to the past. That those kind of issues will always have cause those nuances, the underlying factors in how these things are played out. You understand? So some people, look at one of the commissioners or something that was coming out and saying, it doesn't matter, he's really from here, he's fine. You are trying to, you just know that is just nonsensical. Like there's nobody can make sense of that. You are just trying to pander to what is trending and things like that. So leadership needs to be in this kind of situation. I want to say that we need to begin to have foresight. It's like it's death that brings a final reality to Nigerian politics. There was a video where the former governor also was quoted saying everything that we have, even death can take away your system. So must it be that? And that is being short-sighted.
Of course.
Death is not a finality. Yes, death is not a finality. Even somebody like me that is of a faith person, I know death is already conquered, is a conquered issue. Now, what that means is that there are countries that are already talking immortality. They are talking about anti-aging. And there's a mentality there that, so this grab is, like I said, the upbringing and saying, we may soon die, got everything for my generation to come, you as if we are all something
that's
is going
all
to happen
that
to
life
everybody,
consists of, yes.
That something is going to happen suddenly. But no, you know, look at countries that are planning. They have a blueprint. Even if it's Democrats, it's Republicans, there is a blueprint for them to follow. For the next 100 years, we are going to put people on Mars. We are going to do, even private individuals like Elon Musk is following those paths. So we are now having a longevity mindset. You understand? And see, this age, you know, he's very young. He died very
at 67.
Steve Jobs died at what age? Dowser died at what age? Michael Jackson died at what age? Their impact still continues.
Of course, that's the legacy that will live after them.
So legacy should be something, not just having a mindset that, oh, I might die quickly, so let me amass all the wealth and stuff like that. It is a poverty mentality.
In as much as I'm being tempted to already dive into the legacy that he's leaving behind, there's a statement you made about monarchical mindsets that we have in most of our African countries. Now, let me bring this question to you. Part of the agitations of some of the factions, well, let me put it this way. They made moves to actually impeach Ayedatiwa prior to now. Do you think that they had foreseen today to happen or yesterday to happen that, oh, he's going to be sworn in as governor should anything happen?
Well, if you actually check the constitution very well, it has been stipulated there. There is nothing, ordinarily, to me, Akeredolu is supposed to have resigned as governor. It would have been a better state of mindset for him. Even if at all you are sick and you have a rest of mind, the issue of the sickness will be the matter
at hand. After all, healing comes from the mind, of course.
But because we have these machineries that were actually, and not because of anything, it is actually because of what Victor just said. People have this hereditary mindset that when I inherit this,
I must pass the baton to somebody
that is loyal to me. But if you check it very well, democracy, politics is about loyalty, but democracy is not about loyalty.
Okay.
Democracy is about doing the right thing at the right time for the right people.
For the right reason.
Are you getting it?
Absolutely.
Even if you are doing the right thing at the wrong time and for the wrong people, then that's not democracy. So you could actually say everyone, most of our politicians now are actually in government, and they are governing based on politics, not based on democracy, not based on governance rules. Are you getting it? So that is what is playing out. What was playing out in Ondo State. You could see that just yesterday, some people have resigned.
Of course.
Are you getting it?
And no appointments have been made already.
Immediately, you will have seen that this has been planned.
That's why I'm asking if this was foreseen.
That's where I'm coming. It was not even foreseen. It has been planned. It's not a foreseen something. If you actually foreseen, unforeseen contingencies could actually happen.
But you know, it's the first sight that makes you start things in place.
When you are focusing on unforeseen contingencies and you've now planned perfectly, okay, fine. If this could happen, that means these people that were actually working for the former governor were against his life. That is just the matter at hand.
But you can't say for sure.
Let me tell you something. Okay, let me tell you something. What could have been mattered most between your husband's life and your job?
I'm sure you're not asking me that question.
It's actually a question that everybody should answer.
I believe it's rhetorical.
Are you getting this?
Of course.
Number two, what could have been mattered most than people you signed to work for and your own wealth? These two things played out in Ondo State. And when you see it very well, that was what actually affected the former governor. It affected his governance while he was away. It affected even the family. And tomorrow will come. Don't forget, right from Adefarati to Adagu to Mimiko, now to Akeredolu. When you see from Adefarati, you see a trait in Adefarati. I remember very vividly that one of our political gladiators in Ondo City was actually talking about Adefarati. He said something. He said, Adefarati told us, I am coming in not because of myself and my family. They said I should come and I must come, serve them and leave. Are And when you check very well, even though he had his own lapses, are you getting it? Everybody would surely do, but you could not actually trace that beyond his tone of development that he brought to Ondo State. Look at Agagu. Now, people, despite about that, Mimiko had a lot of but despite that, people will still be talking about him. But this one, Akeredolu surrounded himself. Akeredolu is a voice.
Of course, everybody knows it. You can't take it away from him.
Akeredolu is a voice that will always be for masses. Whether you are APC or PDP, I don't care. What I care about is when it comes to Southwest, Akeredolu stood his ground for us.
You will find that in the words that the president used to describe him.
We could actually see that one. Let's actually see president's case as political talk. Are you getting? Let's even see it. But for us, we masses that knows governors that have ruled in this Southwest, and we knew what they did. Akeredolu is a voice beyond every government in Southwest as far as Southwest is concerned. So just that he surrounded himself with people that seems to love him but have other mindset. That's just it.
So you agree with that same opinion?
Ironically, when you look at the last administration, the priority of that last administration was health, and which would reverberated across the globe. I remember representatives from Maryland, coming to check the healthcare system. It became a model. You understand, the caring hearts model, and the next administration could not maintain that, very sadly. But the administration is still continuing anyway. But that the governor now died of health challenges in a state that previously was ranked the best in health.
But you know that regardless, one thing we must bear in mind is regardless of the kind of treatment or the best of treatment you may get, when it's just time, it's time, right? No. You think there's more to? You think there's more to it?
That mentality I used to tell people, come, that your time is your time.
Okay, please.
When it comes to health,
tell us more. If you think there's more to that,
there's more to that. Let me take this for instance. Was it day before yesterday? I had headache. Like it was a severe one. And I remembered that for the past 3 weeks, I've been having like 1 hour sleep, 2 hours sleep. Are you getting it?
Okay, so you
then the next that was I knew something. So if I continue that, thinking that it's this when it's not my time, it's not going to be my time. Forget about it. My time will come shortly. So I actually needed to rest, and I did that. And now I think I'm actually.
But the way you made it sound as though some person
the same person. Last administration, should I say the administration of Governor Mimiko actually last yes. Okay, we should
see the same administration. Just that there's a transition in between.
Okay, now you see that what he laid down as touches mother and child. We have mother and child hospital in Ondo. We have. You see very sure that everybody commended that effort. But when this one comes, and I heard something, though this is not public, this was not public knowledge, that it wasn't Akeredolu's decision to change mother and child from being a free healthcare hospital to paid. But there were machineries.
In fact, the report has it that even our personally dominated machine in Ondo town is looted. As in, you can't even imagine. One is that if you get sick, you can't guarantee health. Your health.
Okay, but I've not been able to establish.
That can be linked. Do you understand what
But I've still not been able to establish a statement you were trying to make.
Yes, that when you said his time.
No, away from his time is his time. Okay. He was sick. And he couldn't get better. So the statement says he bowed to cancer. But you are trying to say he didn't bow to cancer. So what are you insinuating?
I didn't say he didn't bow to cancer.
There could be management.
Of course. He might have not even died now. I didn't mean there was.
But he was flown to Germany.
Flown to Germany. Flown back when it was not time. Do you know how many weeks he spent in?
So you're saying there's human error,
and even in Ibadan, he's supposed to. He's still supposed to be there, getting treatment. You flown this same person to Ibadan. Not only that, in his primary resident in Ibadan. Not only that, you are bringing every matters to his station.
So that means his health should have been separated from governance.
From governance,
because of it. And yes, so we are saying that this is intricate. Now, what is the public saying? The public is saying that you are a governor for the past 4 or so years. How many years would you have used to establish a system that could support you? There's none that could support his well-being. So now cascade it down to the masses. People that make only 1,000 naira per week. How could they be? Do you understand? So it's a reflection. That's why I said death actually brings a lot of reality to the fore, and be able to let us look at, okay, like you said, when you talk about time, okay, look at how rich Steve Jobs was. He died of cancer too. You understand? I think that is from the perspective I say, oh, what will be. But if somebody had an opportunity to have changed a course, and it's just obvious. You know, do you know the drove of? I grew up in Ondo City, and I know about the days of Unimed. That's the medical.
Of course, I was there then.
People were traveling all over from Sokoto, from the north. You will see them trooping in for trauma treatment and things like that. But the thing became a shadow of itself.
Okay.
Do you understand? So I'm not saying that governance has everything to do with the well-being of.
I want to support what Victor just said.
Okay.
You will see that when you have a problem and you know what could actually solve that problem, you establish the foundation to support your problem. But in the case of our former governor, his problem was not prioritized. So somebody that did not actually prioritize what as in his health,
his own issue.
So how do you expect such person to actually?
Let's talk about the late governor. One of his legacy is going to be, when it comes to security, is the community policing, which is Amotekun.
Yeah.
Do you see this as something that can be sustained over time, even with other administrations to come?
Well, I think for now, the only thing is just that, one, I'll continually commend Akeredolu for that, because even when every forces were saying no, he stood his ground. And to your question, I think if and only if we have minds that matters when it comes to security coming on board, then it will be sustained, and it could actually transform from being just a Southwest security network to state policing. Are you getting it?
Absolutely.
So, and with that, if these people could actually come on board and manage it well, then we could actually we could actually have a sustainable. But with what is on ground now, I don't know what will become of that establishment if Lucky Ayedatiwa. I'm not very sure of Seyi Makinde, that Seyi Makinde is actually but what about other governments?
But there's a civil line there, because it's a framework. That's why I talked about leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership.
Absolutely.
So we've not had this. See, when a leader is just like smoke, you can't hide it. Do you understand? Now, but the framework that has been set, okay, Amatekun was a child of necessity. It was calling for, or it must be done at the time it was done. Do you understand? Thank God Aketi found his voice. He could not pander to political innuendos, and he did that. But there's the civil line now is that the president is from the Southwest and could be, and which have a cordial relationship with the former. We are still pandering to emotion anyway, but according to that framework and architecture, like he said, a very good structure for state policing. We have something like that in the north also, if it can be reformed or restructured. We have something coming up that can be refined in the southeast also, that these regions can begin to develop security architecture for themselves. But particularly for the Amotekun, I think the president should be able to have a good disposition towards it, because he understands what leads to that, and that means these leaders should be able to, let me use this word, like grow confidence. I don't want to say grow, because somebody was comparing the region, the Southwest region, the Western region, under the leadership of Awolowo, one man controlled a particular geographic region that is divided into 6, and that means 6 leaders could not. They don't make them like that again. You know, cannot even make the impact that one person has made in 6 regions, in 6 states. You understand? That means we need to go back to our leadership architecture. You understand? That we need to start growing them from young and say, these are the issues, these are the reasons why we are raising you. You know, I saw a lady online, a tech lady, said, this is what my father has always wanted me to be. So all our training work towards that. So I want you to be a leader, and this is what we, so our schools, you know, look at what our students are doing. So you just know that that means in Ondo State now, or in the Southwest, there's nobody that you can critically look at now and say, this person is not 100% politician. That everything tells you everything, you can verify everything. Do you understand? So that means we are not seeing anybody in the succession of our that can step into his shoe and be able to undo issues, even expand it. So that is a leadership lacuna. That's a fault on leadership succession.
And apart from that, you see, Akeredolu actually not only a voice like that, Akeredolu speak truth to the leadership.
Absolutely.
That's just it. That's what people.
It's gone now. What I'm saying that now. About the group, that means these are personal traits.
Okay, but you can we just look at the fact that he had a deputy, and is a deputy that
was with distrust, and let's going to start working on eggshells.
Okay, hold on. Let's take it from this angle. It is obvious that Lucky Oremisoaye that you are moved from impeachment to being the executive governor of Ondo State. Now, there are lots of political gladiators that did not want this to happen.
Of course.
So, what do you think he must do differently?
It's not even political gladiators, actors. Injunction to restrain
my question will be, I'll start with him, I'll still take your opinion too on the same question. My question will be, what do you think he must do differently to unite all factions and have a peaceful reign?
Number one thing is, he must understand the fact that
reign like how? Which one is reign? Is it monarchy? Because you don't want monarchy to sustain
the fact is that
peaceful leadership. What is leadership? Because he's against monarchy.
Monarchy rule is reign.
So let's be sincere to ourselves. Number one thing is, he must understand the fact that politics will always be politics. And you must have different opinions, different views. So if you understand that, then he would do better. That's number one thing. Mindset. When you change your mindset from these are my enemy, immediately you assume a particular position that is a public office. Then you must change a particular analytical mindset that these people are my enemy. Then I need to actually put them in their state. He should change that mindset. Have the mindset that everybody will not be for me. Everybody cannot be for me. That's number one. Then number two, he should see himself as number one citizen of the party he belongs to. If you are seeing yourself as the leader, then you'll be able to sit down, and as Victor has been saying, you'll be able to sit down and say, okay, fine, what will work for us in the next 30 years? That's why I like Yaradua. Okay. I always like that man. Not for anything. Because, he planned for 50 years to come. And that is why USA, I don't think we could actually meet them unless otherwise we change this mentality that Victor is actually had actually been talking about. Now, what we are saying is he should be able to plan, okay, what are we going to have in APC in the next 20 years? With that, then he will know very sure that he had to resolve all issues and bring every actors together. Are you getting? Then number three is he should serve people. If he serve people, even if we have political actors that are against him, then the voice of the masses will prevail.
Okay, so let's get your opinion.
So like I said, the leadership is everything in life is transcends. But one thing I discovered is that people cannot be destroyed. Like, so there's a flavor of longevity in everybody. Okay, 30 years ago, there is a set of people. You understand? So there will be no time that people will not be available. So if you are doing something for the people, that means you are not just capturing a particular timeline in existence and things like that. Now, you look at it. Definitely, there are some people that don't like this guy now.
There are many.
And you have highlighted the political angle of it. That's internally their press. And then there's another thing I want to point your attention to, is that it's not about him.
Of course.
Do you know there are so many agitations now that one thing in Nigeria is that
there are underlying conversations of his interest in the 2024
exactly, that is giving a lot of sleepless nights to.
So I was going to get there, but let's get your opinion.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, his party is in turmoil now, definitely. You know, they had to go to the presidency to get a verdict. You know, as a president that said that let's.
And I think I heard that he actually signed a document that says he will be well behaved. What does the well behaved mean?
So that's that we are all pandering to emotion. Now, I hear that one now is coming with his own personally manufactured leadership quality. That's what I'm saying. We don't have a generally accepted leadership quality in Nigeria. We don't have yet. We should have.
But people vote for the persons and not the party, so you can't take that away.
Really? Okay, that's the debate for another time. Now, the issue now is that when you talk about enmity in government, I was about saying that politics in Nigeria is permutation. So this region will take it next, that region has done. So that there are some permutation that has been truncated in the state right now, right? Which the central is supposed to have it next, this one is supposed to have it next. You know, that one is
it's actually we are done now.
By a year to do some few months to election very soon now. Those permutations are coming. Won't it be distracted? Do you understand? Now, concerning enmity in governance, in politics, is that now he has his own loyalists now they are the ones that will be blocking others now. Do you understand? Like he also was sidelined. You understand? His own people now, they are starting now. Even if he comes to the party and say we are all one, I'm the leader now. One of his boys that were trodden underfoot, that almost lost it before because it was about to be impeached. Do you think those guys, the guys that are coming in now, what that means? We don't have a speculated behavior.
Even at the national, at the assembly now, state assembly now,
there's no judiciary. Yes, now
because the people that supported him.
Yes, now
we want to take
that are known.
And people that were against him. And we want to deliver
vibes and nature, like everything.
But at the same time, Nigeria is on vibes. But it's vibes. But it's still based on his intention, like what I've said. If we actually, because I am the leader, are you getting it?
So if he toes the path of forgiveness and overlooking things,
I am the leader.
But guilty conscience.
This is my state. Talking about guilty conscience, this is my state. Personally, I have led. When we were in school, you knew what happened then. Politically, he knew what happened then. Politically, he knew a lot of actors that are against me then. But despite the fact that when I came on board to be the head of the baristas, school stuff, then I was like, okay, what are we going to do? We could not actually continue this, and we actually tried our best. And today, even that legacy is still there. That go and check in my school now about now Federal University of Education. Are there any Federal University of Education? Go and check. You see that School of Health and Social Sciences is actually still in there now. So it was not for them. I planned for like, okay, let's say even if I'm not here, 10 years.
So you are saying that
if we plan
those open rifts, these are not assumed confrontation, and
this is what really happened.
You understand? So I am so much positive that with the kind of the restraints and the, like you said something the other time that people knew that
if they had a foresight of his
even if he was to come back, you understand, they were fighting for themselves, like he has actually said. You understand? They were trying to do it that even if it becomes you understand, he will still be able to come back. Like you say, he might not have to resign. There are provisions in the law.
Let's quickly take this question. Do you think that he can really wear the shoes of the late Governor Akeredolu?
Okay, that's what I'm asking. That what are the shoes of Akeredolu? Akeredolu is a kind of born leader. Let's say he grew through the rose that grew through the concrete. Also, that is, he forged his life by himself. like he was the president of NBA,
and
you know, all the leadership
lots of
positions
profile.
he has done is because of his personal trait and desire and ambition. Do you understand? So Nigeria is a place where when you now become obvious leader now, you understand, that is when everybody wants to pay allegiance to you. You know, you are talking about his community, is oh, you are now a leader, come. So we have not collectively raised leaders. We have not collectively say in the next 20 years we are going to have EUs. You understand? This is the person that will be able to, at this point, okay, when you are talking about rotation now, a lot of people have started sending greetings and trying to position for leadership. People don't even know in the last 10 years. In your own field of interest, they don't even know you. Do you understand? But you are thinking, okay, I have some cash now, I have some connections now, let me try. So it's always a try your luck something. So now we are, although now is at the whims and caprices of who is Ayedatiwa. He's going to begin to play out. Yeah, he has started players yesterday. Is he a good guy? Has he led well before? And that's why I always tell people that
he was actually commissioner. He was once commissioner of.
I'm saying that this is a sum total. That is all the people in Ondo State, the civil servant, the private citizens, everybody. We are going to be under the leadership of
there's already some sort of panic. Immediately he assumed as acting governor, he froze the account of some local governments that were created. You know, there's already that panic on ground. So especially there has to be conversations of whether or not he will govern
for somebody like me, that is, I am a thought leader. You understand? I lead student social welfare. You understand? We are trying to inculcate leadership into the student very early. We look at the Ghana model. If you look at the leadership structure, that is, in fact, in our school we used to take students to Ghana for leadership, international youth leadership courses. Do you understand? Because leadership cannot be flippant, and you see the exceptional qualities of us. So one of our students just left the SUG and she's now a counselor, a lady. Do you understand?
Okay.
So leadership
in a minute, before I move to him, in a minute, what do you think Akeredolu will be remembered for? I'll bring that to you as well, but in a minute, what do you think late Governor Akeredolu will be remembered for by the Southeasterners, by Nigerians as a whole, by the people of Ondo State?
Yes, I believe that Akeredolu, like Dokita has said, will be remembered as a voice that spoke at the time that when all political calculations was not right, and he spoke from himself and he was true to his ideology. You understand that? But one person cannot be the governance, you understand, and that is how the turnout of everything and the challenges that he faced towards the end of his life.
The same question goes to you.
Well, to me, Akeredolu will be remembered for speaking truth to the governance, to the government rather, to the leaders, even to the president. That's number one. Then number two, we will always remember him in as much as Amotekun exists. We always remember Akeredolu.
Thank you very much, Samuel Guleke, our in-house analyst. We appreciate you for your time today. And thank you very much, Victor Aditolaju, political affairs analyst. We appreciate you for your time today.